All right, I think somebody is having a bad day when she wrote this article. She calls Jeremy Hambley and Griggs from the Geeks and Gamers and the Quartering a cancerous hate eruption. And she seems to think they're either far extreme right wing guys or that they're a pipeline to the extreme right wing, but then she never shows any right wing content or ideas being promulgated by these guys at all. She just kind of says things. She just throws a lot of buzzwords out in this bizarre article. You look at this article and kind of like, oh, this is probably PMS, or somebody's hungry, angry, tired, and it is probably there's some PMS going on here. So if you criticize corporate brand, you're a far right extremist. We must defend corporate brand propaganda. Like, these people ever stop and wonder what happened to the left wing? It's like Antifa and BLM suddenly being sponsored by Bank of America and Chase Bank. You ever look at yourself and look around like, oh, have we been subverted? We got a Bank of America float that we're riding on. It's like we used to occupy Wall Street. Now we're sponsored by Wall Street. Kind of feels like we got subverted. Looks around. Yeah, this is what subversion looks like. Heaven forbid you criticize corporate propaganda. If you try to awaken people from their matrix dreams, some of them will fight you. So what happened? YouTube community, the Fandom Menace and Comics Gate, I guess are loosely related. People who are criticizing mainstream cancer, which we definitely need more of. They criticize bad movies, which people have been doing for a long time. Suddenly now it's problematic because movies become kind of nothing more than vehicles for propaganda. So the useful idiots in the media, this lady's the useful idiots. She doesn't seem that bright to me. She knows that the corporate brand is pushing globalist propaganda pretty much openly, and the puppets will protect their puppet masters. If you reject the propaganda, the media will stop at nothing to destroy you. It's not just a movie, as you saw with Disney and the Bob Chapek getting him on for another 3 years. You look at like Doomcock used to do videos about Kathleen Kennedy, and these other videos, people will talk like, the board of directors is surely going to push to replace these people because the stuff has been so bad lately, and you're coming at it from a perspective that these companies are incorporated to make money, sell entertainment for money, and it's just everything's above board. And then you go, oh wait, well, how come these people haven't been replaced, or how come the board of directors hasn't pushed to change the tone of the company? How come they're doing these weird things that are resulting in a low return on investment, or sometimes movies that are bombs? It's like Solo and the Eternals, and it seems actually there's actually been a bunch of underperforming, bombing movies. You go, so why haven't they turned it around? These aren't stupid people. Because it's not just a movie company. They hired Bob Chapek. I guess the board of directors has got, I don't know what you call the chief head of the board of directors is a far left whack job, and she's in Bob Chapek's corner. So they like the direction they're going to go. But the company is not. I mean, I know they're sitting on cash reserves from other properties, from older properties, and the theme park is doing well because people will always go to a theme park. It's just a distraction. But the movies have not been doing well. It seems weird that the company's objectively going in a negative direction with the movies, and you guys aren't more concerned about that. One, they don't really need to be because they have so much cash reserves, and they have cash coming in from other properties that are probably going to continue to come in for decades to come, where they can take a loss if they push propaganda. They're not entertainment companies. These aren't your standard above board. It's just not just a company selling entertainment to make increase shareholder value, pay dividends, or increase stock value. That's how normies think of these companies. This is not an automobile company. This is a globalist propaganda company. The more evidence that stacks up for this, it sounds a little bit less tinfoil hat, and you start looking at it and go, oh, yeah. They actually are doing this kind of stuff. Disney is a tool of these elite Bolsheviks who are on a mission to propagate this new world order. You'll own nothing and you'll be cattle slaves. Disney is one of the tools that they use, and there's the media, and there's pretty much every entertainment company, and then the mainstream social media. The only thing we have is we have little corners of the mainstream media, but we also have the alt media, Odyssey, BitChute, Gab, Telegram, that type of stuff. And the puppets are quick to respond when their master's power is threatened. They use control terms like the istophobic. There's a whole slew of these istophobic words that it's just suddenly popped into the lexicon within the past 100 years, some of them very recently. They use those terms to manipulate you. They're not real terms. They're not organic. They are social conditioning out of critical theory from the Frankfurt School. They deflect with these terms to not address the argument, and also they know they can compel behavior by using these terms. It's a grand globalist experiment, and some people on YouTube dare to lampoon it. And you know what impact the Phantom Menace and Comicsgate has, I don't know, because the movies and the comics that we're lampooning are legitimately, objectively, organically bad. They were not going to do well no matter what. And you know, you saw how people made fun of, was it Captain Marvel, and it went on to make $1 billion, probably because it was nestled between the two biggest films in history. But what impact Phantom Menace has by criticizing bad movies? The trailers look bad. I mean, everyone's coming out and criticizing this kind of stuff. So I think they're having, you have some impact. If you have a bunch of reviewers on YouTube who in total come together and they get like 1 million views on something, that's an audience that was going to pay for the movie. So if they're dissuaded from paying for the movie, it has some minor impact. But the total YouTube community for the Phantom Menace and Comicsgate type of stuff, it's not, maybe for comics it's actually a bigger impact because the comic audience is smaller, but the movie audience is huge. I mean, it's not just America, it's worldwide. So they have, I mean, maybe a few percentage, but it's really not. I don't think it's the what these media insane people think it is. So it's this grand globalist experiment. Some people on YouTube, how dare you criticize what we know to be movie propaganda? The movies they make, they're openly propaganda. They're horrible. Even the left-wing SJWs are not watching these movies. Every time Elizabeth Banks, you guys have got to see Charlie's Angels. A woman director's got to make a movie with women, and it's like, it bombed. Yeah. The men didn't see it. So why didn't the women see it, Elizabeth Banks? Why didn't the women go see all these other movies? Women don't really watch this kind of movies. These are like men's movies, but they're openly propaganda. And you're trying to sell something that people don't want to buy. Why don't you just sell people what they want to buy? Because we don't want to do that. Because we fundamentally hate the customer. It's not the fans. It's not the audience. It's the paying customer. Put things back less on an emotional footing and more on a financial footing. So they use Salon, Slate, Mike, BuzzFeed, all that kind of garbage tier media. I don't even know all those. Some of those companies come and go. Gawker type of stuff, to write these articles calling critics far right. Jeremy from the Quartering and Geeks, those guys, that's what you think of as far right. What's the color of the sky in your world where you think the Phantom Menace guys and Comicsgate guys are far right? That's insane. Yes, there's a far right political spectrum, but these guys aren't even on it. In fact, there's no one on YouTube that is far right, because they're not allowed on YouTube. They're on Odyssey and BitChute and all those other, on Gab TV, that kind of stuff. So as if far right is a bad thing. It's good to bring, it's not, it's awesome being based. And also, like, you need balance. You need both perspectives to be shown. One balances the other, and right now, like, the far right perspective is not being shown simply because control of social media is held by people who are left of center and will censor further right voices while pushing further left voices, which are just insane. Being far right's a good thing. It's awesome to be based, because you kind of see the world as it is with all the propaganda, illusion, overlay. And yeah, some of this stuff kind of sounds a little Alex Jonesy, the eye in the pyramid type of stuff. But the thing is, it's fun to troll them with all that a little bit of conspiracy theory type of stuff, because they always take the bait. They always fall for that. Any bait that you proffer to them, they'll just leap at. They can't help themselves. And most of the time, it is a troll. Not everyone on the right is insane. but they don't know what is real or illusion because they have a hard time empathizing with right-of-center viewpoints. Where there's a study that said right-of-center people can put themselves in the left-wing, can understand the left-wing viewpoint, where left-wing people cannot understand the right-wing viewpoint. All they have is a straw man that CNN told them, and they're, I mean, that's their party of censorship and deflection. Where we go, oh, why don't we just have a talk, have a no censorship, put everything on the table, and the left wing panics because fundamentally they know they have bad ideas that can't stand the open marketplace of ideas. So the OK hand symbol thing, that absolutely broke them. Or the it's okay to be white, because anything you put out there, they're going to take the bait for this kind of stuff. They kind of, it's just action reaction. People on YouTube criticize bad films. That's it. For the temerity to do that, they must be destroyed. First of all, let's get something straight. This lady doesn't watch the fandom menace. Why would she? She hates them. All these they do the same thing with Comicsgate. They hate these channels. And you go like, I know you're not watching it because why would you watch something you hate? In fact, why would you get emotionally invested in any of this stuff if you hate all this stuff? Well, for her, she's making money writing articles and PayPal and Patreon, all that kind of stuff. So I mean, this is her position. She's a race grifter, and hey, you got to make that money somehow. I get it. But all these other people, it's like, oh yeah, they know that Comicsgate Phantom Menace criticizes this stuff, and they also know it's propaganda, so therefore they must do the best they can to try to get these channels removed off social media. The customer should crap all over these diverse propaganda Pravda films because they suck. They're not organic films. They're social conditioning to brainwash sheep, and she's just pissed off that it's not working. They absolutely want mindless consumers. And the picture of the soylent soy boy, just the pussy face with all the toys in the background, and just anything they offer. Oh, they gotta gotta love the Disney Plus. Gotta go watch the movie, and then gotta buy all the toys. And I mean, look at some of the past 6 movies that have come out, maybe more from Disney. And like, how are those toy? How is that Star Wars toy sales? Oh, not well. So how are the toy sales for the X-Men, the Eternals, all the other, God, there's been so many movies, Doctor Strange, so many movies, like I'm not even aware of them anymore because they're just, they're going to be horrible. The Self-Deletion Squad Part 2, like how's the other, I mean, not just toys, but the promotional material being associated with that. Like, how are the spin-offs coming for all that stuff? The Captain Marvel, where's Captain Marvel Part 2? You would think they would have like a streaming show for Brie Larson or something. It's been a few years. It's kind of weird how they just kind of faded because I've made $1 billion. There's a lot of support for it, right? I think they know the support is not as not as firm as perhaps it looks, even though it made $1 billion. So she mentions the D-Day Cobra and the Midlands channel, which is the Germany's secondary news channels that cover the media from a kind of a moderate point of view. And she's triggered by the media being the enemy of the people. They are the enemy of the people. Just because, propaganda, that was a disgusting. Blackpilled on Odyssey did a live stream talking about this a few months ago, and it's like the symbolism in the movie will turn your stomach. It's just a dark, disgusting movie. So Stalin, I think, made that phrase the enemy of the people. I'm sure a lot of the people have been talking about yellow journalism. They go, Lugenpress is, I think, the German phrase. The Germans have those long words that are just like combinations of consonants or something. So I think they came up with that phrase, and that triggers them. And you're like, yeah, but that's just a German word for lying press. I mean, all countries in Europe and America have been talking about the lying press and media bias for a long time. Yellow journalism was what the American expression was, and that's hundreds of years old. Oh yeah, those guys are all right. Germans before Germany was Germany. They're the same thing. So you're saying criticizing the propaganda coming from the media is suddenly problematic. You must just listen and obey. Especially if it comes from someone who's a non-fair-skinned person of the light. That criticism is not allowed. Well, we're going to criticize everything and everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. Anyway, just because Stalin said something doesn't make you wrong. I mean, they also drank water, and the Austrian corporal loved animals. It was a vegetarian, I think. So the media are dirty smear merchants. They are the lying press. They are yellow journalism. They've been that way for hundreds of years. I don't know the history of the media. Like, were the Greeks pounding out papyrus news articles? So she points out in the article that these Phantom Menace channels criticize everyone. She actually openly says that, yes, they criticize everyone and they don't criticize all POCs. There's that one Star Wars chick played by Rosie Dawson. I can't for the life of me remember now. And they go, oh, yeah, they love her. They love that character, and she's a POC. Or even there's a bunch of, like, Gamera in that Chris Pratt movie that are POCs, and people love them. So she admits that in the article. Which kind of seems to confuse her a little bit, because they don't criticize all women or all POCs. In fact, they love some. So it that kind of just pulls the rug out from your whole argument that this is just blonde people bad. Like that undercuts your whole argument when you have to openly admit that they don't criticize. So why'd you write the article? You very surface level thinking person who might have a disability. Because she's a grifter. Her whole existence is built on a race hustle. She's completely devoid of any original thought in her head. Much of these people in the left-wing media, they just parrot things they've heard, hot words, buzzwords that are the nomenclature that's used in the lexicon. They just repeat these things, and then you stop and go, wait a minute, these people you're claiming, the fair-skinned people think that they're supreme. So where's the evidence for that? Where's the proof for that? Where's the rebuttal to that? Like, let's have that discussion, because it seems like you're building your house of cards on it. And then you go, well, what about these other groups of people? I can insert a bunch of other ethnicities in there. Wouldn't it be more likely to say that they're the ones who are the supreme people because of all these facts and evidence? They don't even want to have that conversation, because they know their ideas don't withstand the harsh sunlight of the open marketplace. That's why they deflect and censor. They are the authoritarians. They always have been. They're very, very bad, dangerous people. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Check me out on Subscribe to our Patreon. Thanks to the recent people who joined that. Very awesome. I'll see you guys on Gab and Telegram, and check you out next video.